What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Invasive Brews channel. I am Ranch Travagal, and I finally got a nice day to work out in my yard. It's not blowing 100 mile an hour like it has been here lately. So I decided to work out in my strawberry bed over here and my flower bed over here. We got some strawberries creeping into it and some flowers creeping into the strawberries. So I gotta get this cleaned up. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is 3 common non-native garden and yard pests that are weeds that people deal with all the time. The first one I want to talk to you about is the dandelion. The dandelion is a non-native plant. It has come over. Those starlings are loud. Can you hear them? I'm by their nest. I need to take care of their nest. But anyway, the dandelion is a non-native species. It is from Europe, Eurasia, those parts over there. They brought them over. The early settlers did bring them over for food. They have medicinal purposes. They can improve liver function, lower their cholesterol. They're very high in vitamins A and C. So they are very edible, and in fact a lot of people make dandelion wine, dandelion beer, dandelion tea. You put the roots in water and then you let the water soak out the nutrients and then drink it. You can put the greens in a salad. So they are edible. So like I say with a lot of invasives, if you can't, or non-natives, I shouldn't say invasive, because dandelions aren't considered to be invasive, because to be invasive you have to cause harm to the ecosystem, the economy, or human health. And well, they're not bad for human health, they're actually good for human health. And the only way they would harm the economy is if you absolutely hate them and spend money on spray to kill them. They don't harm the ecosystem. In fact, they are an early bloomer this time of year. This nice cool morning here, they are blooming, so they are an early food source for early rising pollinators. A fact that I just found out recently is that you can make rubber out of that little white milky substance that they secrete. In World War II, before World War II, we bought rubber from Japan, and well, after the Pearl Harbor incident, we stopped buying their rubber and we started making rubber out of dandelions. So people started growing dandelions for rubber. That was something I didn't know. The second species I want to talk to you about, I saw a few of them. I don't see any right here. Oh, nope. We haven't gotten any rain, so they haven't come up. Is henbit. Henbit has this really pretty purple flower. In fact, it can cover an entire area and make a big purple thicket, outcompeting native species. It can outcompete winter cereal crops. It is a winter annual, so it does better in this cool season, and it will die back down when the temperatures here rise in the summer. But henbit is more invasive than dandelion. Dandelion is considered to be just a non-native in most areas, but henbit, they are actually on the noxious weed list on several states because they outcompete agriculture, thus damaging the economy, and they can outcompete the native species, harming the ecosystem and reducing biodiversity in those areas, where areas that are being taken over by henbit. They can also harbor a numerous amount of viruses. Artichoke Italian latent virus, tomato wilt virus, potato virus, several other different viruses. There's I forget the name, but it can harbor a lot of different viruses that can spread to other important crops and flowering plants, so that harming the ecosystem and the economy even more. Now, it doesn't harm human health. Henbit is actually in the Lamiaceae family, which is the mint family, and if you've ever grown mint, you can see why it's invasive, because I have a bed over there that I need to thin out with mint, and there's actually henbit growing over there. But it's actually edible. You can actually eat it, and it's very easily controlled. It spreads through seeds. Each plant can produce up to 200 seeds, so that can cause those big thickets. But it can also, if you chop it up, it can also spread through that way. If you live in a area where you get a lot of moisture, those stems can actually grow roots and it can regenerate that way. So it can become invasive, but it is easily controlled. The roots are very shallow, unlike the dandelion. Dandelion roots can go up to 15 feet in the ground, whereas henbit, they're very shallow roots, so you can just easily pull them up. And then the third and final species I wanted to talk to you today is this guy right here, field bindweed, and it is everywhere, and it's very hard to control. Field bindweed actually is theorized to be brought over in 1877, probably a little earlier than that, and it was in contaminated wheat seed from Ukraine. So it's from that part of the world over there, Eurasia, Russia, Ukraine, and Western Asia. But this is the bane of farmers' existence. It is a huge agricultural pest around here. In fact, it causes up to $377 million a year in agricultural loss. So this is a huge inhibitor of crops, and these roots go down very far, so you can't really just pull it out. So I only got a fraction of the root right there. Well, we're really dry right now, so that doesn't really help. But these roots can go down up to 18 feet. So these can also spread out up to 3 meters, choking out all the other plants around it. It can outcompete. So very harmful to the ecosystem. It spreads through seeds and rhizomes, so it has a dual way of reproducing. It's a perennial, so it will come back every year if you don't take care of it. So these, you have to really be diligent on controlling these, and the main way is through herbicides, which I really don't want to spray herbicides next to my strawberry. So I'm going to have to find another way of controlling this bindweed, because it did sneak in these beds here. So that's it. Those are the 3 non-native. So dandelion, non-native, not invasive. Henbit, invasive in certain areas. Noxious weed list on certain states. Field bindweed, very invasive. All 3 are non-native species, but each serve a different function in the ecosystem, and 2 of them, they do outcompete our native ecosystem. And 1 is very bad for agriculture industry. Well, 2 of them. Henbit is 2. So I hope you enjoyed or learned something from this episode. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't. And I'm going to work on these beds, get these cleaned out, hopefully get all the non-natives out. In fact, I got some non-natives here, like this one that came in a seed packet that I actually bought that was supposed to be a native. This is not a native flower. So I'm going to get rid of these, and concentrate on planting more native species like this milkweed here. So until next time, plant native and drink local.